Chapter 7. My First Battle. The path leading from the underground lake to the surface was a single cave. I proceeded down that path, poyo poyo, as I went. My movement was more comfortable than I expected. Even in the lightless darkness, my sight, an application of magic sense, was as clear as day. I hadn't noticed when I was blind and moving carefully, but a slime's movement speed isn't that slow. I can move at a normal walking pace and even break into a run. There's no reason to rush and I don't get tired, so I'm just moving at a regular walking speed. And no, it's definitely not because of the trauma of falling into the lake while running. After a while, a large gate blocked the path ahead. An artificial structure deep inside a cave. It couldn't be more suspicious. But in an RPG, it's a common sight, so it didn't surprise me. It's normal for a boss room to have a door. Now, how should I open it? Could I slice it up with my water blade? Just as I was thinking that, the door slowly started to open with a geerk sound. I quickly moved to the side of the path to observe. Finally, it's so rusty, even the keyhole is falling apart. Well, it can't be helped. No one has gone inside for 300 years, right? There are no records of anyone entering. More importantly, are you sure this is safe? We won't get attacked out of nowhere, will we? Don't worry. I don't know if it was invincible 300 years ago, but it's just a big lizard. I've even soloed a basilisk before. Leave it to me. I've always thought this, but that's a lie, right? A basilisk is a Category B+ rank monster, you know. It's impossible for you to solo one, Caval. You idiot. I'm a B rank too. A big lizard is no match for me. All right, I get it, but don't let your guard down, okay? Well, if things go south, I'll just use my forced retreat to get us out of here. I know you two are close, but could you please be quiet? I'm about to activate my stealth skill. A noisy group of 3 came in. I wonder how I can understand them. Solution. When a person's will is embedded in sound, an application of magic sense converts it into understandable language within the user's mind. I see, so I can't talk to them, but I can understand what they're saying. That's a relief. I was never good at English. I always thought there was no need to learn foreign languages when you live in Japan. I figured only people with plans to go abroad had to bother. But in this situation, that excuse won't work. It seems like I'll need to study at some point. Well, that's beside the point. What should I do? This is a more difficult problem than opening the door. I don't know why they're here, but they seem like adventurers. Are they looking for treasure? They're the first humans I've encountered in this world. Part of me wants to follow them. However, if I, a slime monster who can't speak, were to show myself, they might kill me without a second thought. I'll pass for now. I should only show myself to people after I can at least talk. I hid and watched them for a while. The figure of the skinny guy seemed to blur a bit, as if he did something. But they weren't invisible. He mentioned stealth, so it's probably a type of skill. Being able to peek freely. How lecherous. I wonder why he learned that skill. I might need to befriend him later. After confirming the trio's presence had disappeared, I resumed my journey. No need to rush. This isn't my only chance to meet humans. I'll proceed carefully, step by step. Haste makes waste, as the old saying goes. I swiftly slipped through the door before they could come back and left the area. After passing through the door and traveling for a while, I reached a point where the path branched out in many directions. Which one leads to the surface? There's no way for me to know just by looking. I picked one path and entered. Ting! Our eyes met. I quietly averted my gaze. There was a menacing great serpent right in front of me. Compared to the snakes from my previous life, it was covered in hard, spiky black scales. I was a frog, no, a slime, stared down by a snake. I told myself to be a ghost and hoped I could get away if I wasn't noticed. I tried to back away stealthily, but them... It threatened me. No way, you're not getting away. I could feel its intent without it saying a word. Should I fight it? I have the ultimate move I trained for a week to get. But still, to fight a monster like this requires resolve. To put it simply, I'm terrified. But don't panic. If I think about it carefully, I've experienced something much scarier. That's right, Veldora. Compared to that dragon, wait, maybe this isn't as scary as I thought. I can do this. Calm now, I observed the black serpent. It was letting its guard down, thinking my terrified state had left me frozen. It seemed to be contemplating how to prepare me. In that case, I won't hold back either. Swoosh! Without hesitation, I launched a water blade directly at the black serpent's neck. Splat, whoosh, thud, rumble, thump. It was over in an instant. It was so quick it was unbelievable. The water blade cleanly decapitated the black serpent without any resistance. This great, menacing serpent, big enough to swallow me whole. This is even more powerful than I thought. If I used this on a human adventurer, it would be a bloodbath. I'm glad I tried it on a monster first. By the way, the current capacity of my stomach is Veldora at 15%, water at 10%, herbs, potions, and other at 3%, and ore materials at 3%, for a total of 30%. The amount of water used for Waterblade isn't even a full cup, though it increases if I adjust its size. I could fire thousands of water blades and not have to worry about my water supply. This seems more useful than an average spell. For now, I'll deal with any monsters I encounter using Waterblade. Now, about this snake. If I eat and analyze it, can I steal its abilities? I immediately began to consume it. The results, I gained 2 unique skills and the ability to mimic a black serpent.
Unique skill, Heat Perception. Detects heat signatures in the surroundings. Nullifies the effects of stealth. Unique skill, Poison Mist Breath. A powerful corrosive poison-type breath. The range is approximately a 120-degree cone for 7 meters. This poison seems to deal damage and have a corrosive effect, damaging equipment and the body. It would probably be a real challenge for a normal adventurer. But since this world has magic, it might not be that big of a deal. I spent some time analyzing the black serpent's abilities. The more cards I have in my hand, the better. I found out 2 things. My mass increases when I mimic the black serpent. I can use the acquired skills without mimicking the creature, but the power and other effects might be reduced. To explain, it seems that my stomach breaks down the body of the monster I eat and stores it. When I was damaged before, I remember I ate the damaged part to repair myself, so it's probably like having spare cells. Unique skills seem to be specific to that monster. My Dissolve, Absorb, Self-Regeneration are in this category. To use a unique skill at 100% effectiveness, it seems I need to mimic that monster. However, I can still use parts of the skill, and some, like Heat Perception, can be used normally. That's the summary. Predator is seriously useful. I want to keep getting more useful skills in the future. 3 days passed since the fight with the black serpent. I was still inside the cave. I couldn't feel the cold, but it might have been quite chilly. No sunlight was getting in at all. I was worrying about a certain thought. No, I know it's not true, but I can't help but think it. Maybe. Am I lost? No way. I mean, come on. You never hear about someone getting lost in the first cave. It's supposed to be an easy cave, a stepping stone for the early game, right? Besides, the 3 adventurers seem to have gotten in without getting lost. It's fine. The path must just be really long. Still, this might be the first time I've been glad I was a slime. If I had come here as a person from another world, I would have collapsed from hunger by now. I never thought I'd be grateful for being a slime in a place like this. But not knowing the way is unsettling. Is there any good way to find the path? Solution: would you like to display the path you've taken so far in your mind? Yes, no. I burst out laughing. What the heck? If you had such a convenient feature, you should have told me sooner. I couldn't help but retort. The answer is yes. Auto-mapping is cheating. I used to think that. In old games, you had to get out a real pencil and paper and draw the map yourself, step by step. The joy of carefully mapping out the dungeon one step at a time. That was the true pleasure of clearing the game. But then people started relying on walkthroughs, and eventually, games themselves came with mapping features built in. The essence of the challenge disappeared. Once you get used to that convenience, it's hard to go back. I mean, if a massive modern game didn't have a mapping feature, you'd be stuck for sure. So I'm going to use this convenient feature right away. I looked at the map displayed in my mind. Am I seeing things? It looks like I've looped through the same areas multiple times. There's no way a so-called pro who has dedicated his life to clearing games could get lost. Apparently, it was possible. Following the map in my mind, I entered a cave I hadn't gone into before. I was immediately met with a landscape I hadn't seen in the past 3 days. For this cave to confuse me, it must be pretty impressive. I'll praise the cave honestly. It's not because I have a terrible sense of direction. I must be close to the cave's entrance or an exit to the outside. Moss and weeds were starting to appear more frequently inside the cave. Sunlight was filtering in from somewhere, making it dimly lit. So I guess it's daytime. I've had several battles on my way here. I encountered 4 types of monsters. A monster centipede, evil centipede, rank B+. A large spider, black spider, rank B. A giant bat, rank C+. An armored lizard, Armorsaurus, rank B-. I guess that black serpent was a one-off, since I haven't encountered a second one. They were all formidable opponents. I managed to defeat them with a single strike from Waterblade, but the bat dodged a few times and tried to bite me, and the lizard even deflected my Waterblade if the angle was wrong. I can't let my guard down. The monster centipede tried to erase its presence and ambush me from behind, but with my constant vigilance using magic sense and heat perception, it didn't work. A counterattack with my Waterblade to its back was a one-hit kill. The large spider was the worst. I'm just not a fan of bugs. I have a physical aversion to them. It was a sorry but you're just ugly situation. But my heart was strengthened after being reincarnated as a slime, so I was able to fight instead of running away. Sorry, but I'm going all out, I thought, and sliced it up with the maximum 5 water blades at once. It was not an enemy I wanted to look at for long. I ate all of them. This world is all about survival of the fittest. If you lose, you become sustenance for the victor. Still, I hesitated to eat the spider and the centipede. In that sense, I really did my best. But if a cockroach monster appeared, I'd probably run away with all my might before even thinking about eating it. It's not about winning or losing. There's a wonderful saying in this world: discretion is the better part of valor. Here are the skills I got. Monster centipede, paralysis breath. Large spider, sticky thread, steel thread. Giant bat, vampirism, supersonic waves. Armored lizard, body armor. And so, with my new powers, I successfully made it out of the cave and onto the surface, to a place where the sunlight was pouring down for the first time since I was reborn into this world.